everybody! Today's tutorial is all about backing up your Hackintosh, so stay tuned. Hi, welcome back to my channel again. I get a lot of questions how to properly back up a Hackintosh. I will show you 2 free and 2 commercial solutions how to back up your data or even clone whole disks. I will also explain pros and cons of each method and who is it suitable for. I will walk through all of them in detail, and on the very end I will show you one bonus solution to make your life easier. Let's jump into it. So the first solution I want to show you is one of the most popular apps for backing up on Mac OS and is called Carbon Copy Cloner. It is a commercial solution, costs $40, but they have fully functional 30 days trial, so you can test it before buy and see how it is working for you. You can back up whole disk with it or just selected files and folders. You can clone one disk to another or back up your data into an image. It can do incremental backups, so you back up only data that have changed since last backup, so you don't need to redo whole backup each time. It is a very powerful solution. So if you want to back up your whole image library, for example, it can be very efficient because it can only sync only new or modified files, and you don't need to each time copy it all and over. I will use for this tutorial these 2 folders on my desktop called source and the destination. I will open my Carbon Copy Cloner. You should do too. On the left side you will have your tasks, your periodic tasks or manual tasks. On the right side you have a source column, destination and schedule. So easiest way is to just drag your source into the source, destination into the destination. You can copy all files. Choose this copy all files when you want to make a copy of your whole disk, or you can choose only some selected files of your choice. I will choose copy all files. On the destination you can see there is some safety net on. Modified and deleted files will be cached. What does that mean? When you have done previously already, for example, few backup tasks using this one, your source and the destination will not be the same. Your destination will have more files than the source, because during the first backup there were some files here. During the third, 15th backup, there were other files, and they are all stored on the destination. So if you want to be sure your source and the destination are in match, click on the SafeNet off. Schedule. You can run these tasks automatically once at the specific time, hourly, daily, blah blah blah. It's up to you. When I hit clone now, you can see my destination will fill up with the files from the source. What will happen when some of your files on the source will change? For example, you will get some new photos or new videos. So I will put here some new files and redo the clone task. Clone, run now. As you can see on the destination, there are 3 new files. What happened when I delete these files from the source and do a clone again? They will disappear from the destination, so you always match your source to the destination. And this task will only sync or copy the changed or new files, and will delete all files on the destination that are not present on the source. So, is it possible to make a bootable copy of your whole system drive with Carbon Copy Cloner? Yes, but it's not so easy. I will show you. I will create a new task and I will call it System Clone. Here is my system boot drive. System clone. So, here is my system boot drive. I will drag it to the source. The destination, you can choose another physical drive which you have on the system, or I will show you how to make a clone into a disk image. I will create a system image on my FTP clones, which is my network share on my server. Safety net off, and when I hit clone, it will create a system image of whole my system partition on my system disk. It's important. It's not the system disk. It's just the system partition on my system disk. But as you Hackintosh users know, there is also an EFI partition which contains Clover bootloader and other necessary files. So to make a bootable copy, we need to backup those two. As you can see here, the warning sign, you will not be able to boot from the destination volume. Sure, first it's an image, second it has no EFI. So the solution for this is very easy. You can create another task. I will call it, for example, EFI clone. Now we need to mount the EFI partition. You can do it manually by the Clover application, mount system, mount partition, and just drag your EFI partition to the source. Safety net off, and on the destination I will do the same. I will create an EFI image on my server, and I will run it now for you. So I hit clone, completed successfully, and when I show you now the content of my FTP clones, you can see EFI image here. When I double click it, it will mount the EFI clone image, and you have all files from the EFI partition here. So when you make a backup using this method, you will need to each time manually mount the EFI partition. Is there any way how to automate it? Yes, I will show you. I will unmount the EFI partition now, but it's a bit more complicated and you have to use a terminal. So open your terminal. We will create a new file which will be a sh script. So how do we call it? Mount system EFI .sh. Now we dive into it, and let's put there the header. We have to create first a mount point. For example, we will call it system EFI. I will open a new terminal window here. We have to find the information how is called our first disk. So disk util list. We have two drives. No, I have two drives. One is my system drive and one is my data drive. So we have to mount this partition. It's on disk 0, partition 1. So the command for this is disk 0 partition 1, and it will go into this mount point. Yes, and we have to close it with exit 0. Control X will save the file. Yes, enter. Now we need to make this script executable. So well, that I forgot to mute my phone, sorry. So I'm back, sorry for the phone. To have absolutely automated the mounting of the EFI partition, click here on the advanced settings and run a shell script. Choose the script we just created. It's here. And now it's time for the magic. I'll hit the clone. Will it work? Clone. It's mounted completely successfully. Bingo! Yeah. Sorry. So this way is very easy. Now we have very automated script that before running this EFI clone task, it will run the script we created, which mount the EFI partition, and then the script continues and create a EFI image on the server. So again, when I look into the FTP clone server, we have this EFI sparse bundle. When I now run the system clone, it's 75 gigs, so I will not run it all the way down. Just the beginning. As you can see, it created the system sparse bundle image. I will run it later to the end. Stop, sorry. So, now imagine we have completed this system clone to the end. So we have an EFI image and a system image. What to do when your system drive dies? You need another computer with macOS where you can run a carbon copy cloner again and restore these two images onto a new drive, which you will put onto your first machine where your drive died. How to do it? Again, it's very easy. Now forget these three tasks. I will create a new two tasks like on the other backing machine. So this task will be called system restore, and the second one will be called will be called EFI restore. So EFI restore source, you just drag the source. It's your source image, and as you can see, it automatically mounted this image. And in the destination, you have to choose an EFI partition of your new healthy drive. So again, you can use a clever configurator, locate your new drive, which will be listed here, and just drag it to your destination and hit clone. This will clone the EFI partition back to your new drive. And the same you will do with the system. So into the source, drag the system image, automatically mount it, and as the destination, just choose the name of your newly added drive, safety net off, and hit clone. So this way you will get back a new bootable clone of your previously died disk. Is it clear? If you have any questions, feel free to comment. So, as you can see, it's really not so difficult. When you know exactly what you're doing, it's very easy. So, this way you can make a whole bootable backup of your system disk, including the EFI partition. So, enjoy it. Let's do a quick summary. Carbon Copy Cloner is very easy to use. It can do incremental backups. It can clone whole disk to another or to an image file. You can clone just selected files and folders. You can do periodical backup tasks. It can be used to clone disk to a smaller one. Cons: it does not back up your EFI folder at default. See my workaround before. It's a paid solution, costs $40. In case your system drive dies, you need another macOS machine to be able to restore your created images to a new drive. And who is this solution for? For those who want to have easy-to-use backing tool without messing with terminal, which some may find uncomfortable. Once you make a separate backup of your EFI folder, you can set up periodical tasks and have it all automated. You can even automate mounting EFI folder, backing it the same way using a shell script, for example, which it will automatically run before the task starts. The EFI folder backup is necessary to do only once. You don't have to do it each time. That was a carbon copy cloner. Next solution I wanna show you is an application called Duper. It's not so complex as carbon copy cloner, but you can do with it complete bootable clones faster. You can clone disk to another disk, or you can choose as a destination an image file. In today's example, I will clone my system drive to external hard drive connected via USB. So, open it up. It's lightweight, very easy to use. On the left side, you have to choose copy from. So, if I want to make a bootable clone of my system drive, I will choose a system. On the right side, copy to. So, you can copy it to a disk image as we done in previous example. But now, I will choose my external hard drive called system clone. So, this will clone my system to my system clone. I want to backup all files. And here down in the options, for first run, I prefer to choose erase. It will completely wipe the destination drive, but when you have already done some clones before, then select Smart Update. This feature compares your source with the backup to find the files that need to be replaced, and those are the only files that are gonna be transferred. Hit OK. Unlock it. Write your password and click on Copy Now. I've done this clone already a few times, so now it's gonna be a bit faster, but I will fast forward it and I'll come back when it's finished. So the cloning process is finished. We can now close the application. And the last step, to make this clone bootable, we need to copy our system EFI partition onto EFI partition or our system clone. I have already here copied my content of my system EFI partition. So all I need to do now is just open my Clever configurator and mount the system clone EFI. And just copy the content of my system EFI partition onto my system clone EFI partition. And that's all. Next time when you would like to do the clone backup, you will not need to mess again with EFI copy. It's already on the clone disk and Duper will not touch it. We had to do it only once for the first time and no more. And that's all. Now my system clone is bootable. Duper is very easy to use. You can do very fast backups on minimum clicks. It can do incremental backups. It clones a whole disk to another or to an image file. Cons? It's a paid solution, $28. It's not so complex as carbon copy cloner. And who is this solution for? For those who want to just make fast incremental bootable clones of their disks. That was Duper. Now I will show you one free and easy method that's running as a command in a terminal application. So, you may be scared now, you may want to stop the video, but hold on, don't worry. I will show you that it's really very easy to use. This solution is using Rsync. Rsync is a cross-platform terminal command available on Mac OS or any Linux distribution. It is a very powerful tool. You can use it for backup data from whole disk or just selected files and folders. It can do incremental backups. You can backup data to another disk or network storage. It can even synchronize data between multiple machines through SSH session over internet around the world the same way as to your machine sitting next to your leg under the table. You don't have to install it. Your macOS machine have it already installed as a part of the system. I will not go through all options which Rsync offers. I will show just those you will really need to make a proper backup. You can always later study the Rsync included help and learn new things. Just run in terminal command rsync -- help. But I will show you now real life examples. As you can see on my desktop, I have two folders called source and destination. Your personal source can also be a folder, or it can be a whole disk. The same with the destination. So this way you can back up your first disk to a second disk. For demonstration purposes, I will use these two folders on my desktop. I want to back up all files from the source folder into a destination folder. So how to do it? Easiest way is to write into terminal the command like this. I will show you. Rsync -av space source space destination and hit enter. And now we can see it copied all the content of the source folder, which contains the wallpapers folder, into the destination folder with all the files inside. Your data are synced now. Rsync offers safety flag which can be used to verify your settings before it really actually do anything. So I recommend first run this command with a dry run flag. I will delete the backup now so we can start from scratch again. So the whole command will look like this. Rsync -av space dry run space source space destination and hit enter. It will show you what it is really gonna do, in this case to copy these listed files from the source to the destination. So after you are really sure it is correct, then run the command without the dry run flag. And now let's add some files to the source and run the dry run command again. For example, when your source folder has got some new photos or your new projects which are not yet on the destination. So I will copy some picture here and I will run the dry run command again. As you can see, it just wants to copy this one file. So it already knows that all these files are already included on the destination, so it does not need to copy the whole content from the source to the destination over and over. It will copy only this single photo. So I will run it without the dry run, and bang! That's it! I will show you one last option. What about when my source folder has changed? I will delete the Facebook picture here, but this file is still present on our backup on the destination. If you want to have always the destination folder the same as the source, run the same command but with a delete flag. Rsync -av space --delete space source space destination. This way both folders stays in sync, so files on the destination which are not present in the source folder will be deleted. Can you see? The Facebook image was deleted from the destination. But you do want to be extremely careful when setting up this command, because when your source directory became accidentally empty or losing some files and you run the command, then you can completely destroy whole backup. Rsync Pros. It is free and already in the system. It is very powerful. It can back up anything to anywhere. It can do incremental backups. It can do both way synchronization. It works also over the internet. Cons. Some may find to work in terminal uncomfortable. A single wrong written flag or character can lead to data corruption. You must be really very careful. This solution is for those who are not afraid of working terminal, experienced users who need to control every aspect of backing up their files, those who want to backup over SSH even to remote servers on internet. That was Rsync. And now, one more free solution I use often for complete bootable backup clones. It can be used to clone to another disk or to an image on a network storage, for example. Well, I use it for cloning my whole boot disk to an image file which resides on my server, where I have stored images of all my machines. It makes a raw bit clone of whole disk, including bootloader. Doesn't matter which file system is on the disk or which system. It just clone bit by bit. I am talking about small open source app called G4L or Ghost for Linux. You can download Ghost for Linux CD image from their website, or I personally use tiny lightweight Linux distribution called PartitMagic. Ghost for Linux is a part of it. It has tons of maintenance applications like gpartit, Clonezilla and so on. You just need to download PartitMagic image or just the Ghost for Linux image from their website or torrent, burn it onto USB stick and in BIOS set to boot from it. So in BIOS boot menu, select to boot from your USB flash with Ghost for Linux or PartitMagic in my case. It takes few minutes to boot, so I fast forward it. Once booted up, you can see we are in a very lightweight Linux distribution. It takes only up to 270 megs of RAM, so you can run it almost on any low-end hardware. Here on the top left, you'll have shortcuts to some of the applications and utilities included inside this distribution. But down, like on Windows, there is a Start menu where you can find tons of useful utilities. You can walk through it and explore what's inside. Some of them are maybe already familiar to you. But I personally use mostly only cloning and imaging tools. I use primarily the Ghost for Linux. So, start it up. This is a warning that you can damage or erase your disk, so just click OK. Here you can choose which mode you want to use. You can copy some file systems, but for making a bootable one-to-one clone, I recommend to use the raw mode. It doesn't care about which file system or partition scheme is on your disk. It just do exact one-to-one bit copy of your entire hard drive. On the bottom you can choose click and clone. Directly clone your drive to another physical connected drive. Just select your source drive, destination drive and click on clone. It's absolutely easy. But I will show you how to create a bootable cloned image of my system Hackintosh drive to my server storage. So I will choose network use. Pick a device. I have only one internet card on this machine. Select an IP, hit enter to get IP via DHCP. Enter IP address of my FTP server. Enter username and password of your server share. And here you have the ability to choose a file name. In case you would like to save a new image, then just fill in a name of your image you would create now, or you can choose one of the already present images on the server used to restore your disk later from disk image. So first we have to create a new image, so I just hit enter and write a name of my new image. I will call it Hackintosh clone. Then just scroll down and select backup option. It will ask me if I want to backup just some specific partition or a whole disk. I have an SSD Samsung 850, device ID is SDA. So when I choose only SDA, it will backup the whole disk. When I choose SDA and number, it will backup only this specific partition. So if you want to make a clone of a whole disk, be sure you choose just SDA without any number behind it. So I will choose SDA and hit OK. It will ask, are you sure? Yes. And when I hit yes now, it will create just single image file on my server with bit by bit copy of my whole SSD. It can take a long time, depends on size of your disk, speed of your server disks and your Ethernet connection, so I will not run it now. You will see a progress bar. After the image creating is complete, it will not give you any success pop-up, it will just revert back to the first screen of this program like this. I'm back now on the first screen and I'll show you how to restore your image to a new disk or just any other disk. Useful when your original system disk dies and you just replace it with a new one, or you can create a second drive just for software testing and so on. Again, choose a RAW mode, network use. I will select one of my already present image files on my server. I have at this time 3 images there, so when I would like to, for example, restore this one, select it by spacebar and hit enter. Now scroll down to a restore option. It will ask me on which disk or just partition I want to restore my image. So again, I'll choose SDA, hit enter. And when I hit OK now, it will restore my image to my new disk. It will be the exact same copy of my original system drive. Bootable. No more messing with EFI partition and Clover and so on. Just plug it into your computer and boot from it. That's all. Again, very easy. Pros: it's free. It does 100% identical raw bit disk clone. It's the most safe solution. Clones whole disk with all bootloaders included, so you don't need to take care about backing up your EFI partition or Windows, Linux bootloader, no more messing with Clover and so on. It clones any Mac, Win, Linux or other disks. Cons: images are quite big even with compression. Cannot be used to clone to a smaller disk. And who is this solution for? For those who wants to make clones of Hackintosh disks as well as Linux or Windows ones, who don't want to take care about any bootloaders, simply make a one-to-one bit copy of their disks. That was Ghost for Linux on Parted Magic Linux distribution. And one last tip on the very end. The most easy way to make a clone of your entire hard drive to another is using some hardware cloning machine. I personally have one made by Hexagon. You just simply put inside source disk, then plug in the destination disk, and all you have to do is just push the button called clone. Sounds easy? Yes, it is so easy. It will clone whole hard disk or SSD including bootloader. So if you have some money to spend, I recommend this method as the most easiest. And finally, who is this solution for? For all of you who don't want to set up anything, just slide into drives and hit the clone button. So, with any of these methods, you are able now to make a bootable clone of your system drive, backup just certain files or folders, or even backup to a network storage. Now it depends just on you which one you choose, or which one will be the most pleasant for you. I hope you'll find my today's tutorial useful. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below or ask for an advice. If you liked my video, please click on the like button, subscribe to my channel and click the bell next to it so you will get notifications about my new videos. Thank you for watching and see you next time.